Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state, utilizing Tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be in broad, the late night show hosts. However, I'm going to be specifically looking at Seth Meyers now that, Trump has decided that Seth Meyers needs to be fired. And then I am going to do a follow-up to see if we're going to get Stephen Colbert back. So yeah, that's going to be the focus of today's reading. I've got some notes here. So apparently, Trump shitted out there on Trash Social that he wanted Seth Meyers fired because he's got Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sorry. There's only one person in that tweet that has Trump derangement syndrome, and that would be Trump himself. And then FCC Chair Brendan Carr reposted it. So, apparently policies being made there on Trash Social. And so, anyway, whenever I first saw that, I was like, okay, has someone, checked little, Diaper Don's, diaper there and see if he needs a change? And he might need his diaper changed and a juice box and a nap. If only it would be that simple. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to do a base reading into it's almost like what prompted this, but I mean, you guys, we are seriously getting down to whatever thought crosses his brain is what we go with in that moment. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick as I'm thinking about it, this thing with Nick Fuentes and him and Trump saying, "Oh, I barely knew him." Here's the thing. One, that is Trump's default, okay? That's his default setting is, I don't know, deny, deflect, and distract. But the thing is that as we're going down, as we're seeing his mind literally, from what we're observing, not diagnosing, is entertainment purposes only. What we're seeing is this is what we're seeing. I saw a podcast that had it was the Daily Beast with Mary Trump. I actually saw it as a clip from wherever else I saw it, but it was a real interesting clip of watching and listening to Mary talk about what she's seeing, the familiar cycles that she's seeing, and that she sees there's moments when she sees her grandfather's look in Donald's eyes. And for those of you who have had, grandparents or parents or someone you're close with that has had dementia, we see it. I mean, we see, whenever there's a moment in that diagnosis where they know that they don't know, and then they try to cover for themselves. And we're seeing that right now, where he's like, "Oh, I barely knew him." It's like, even though we have all of this evidence of you clearly knew him. But I think that in those moments, I really think that he's foggy in the short-term memory. And if you notice, so much of his stuff and rhetoric is from decades long. He thinks we're living in the 70s and in the 80s. And we're not. He is. And so I just wanted to kind of point that out, that we are absolutely seeing that. Those of you who have had, as I said, close family members or loved ones, you recognize that. You see those. It's like, oh my God, he really doesn't know those moments. So if you're seeing that, you're not alone. We're all seeing that. So I'm going to read on, the base reading into what's going on with Seth Meyers, and is Brendan Carr going to be doing the bidding of, somebody who is circling the drain? It appears to be. So as I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. What is going on there with Seth Meyers? So let me pull you guys down here. That thing about, Trump and what we're seeing, I don't really want to do another full-on health reading, but I did want to, kind of touch base on what we're seeing, and it falls right in line with everything that I had been getting in the readings. So, as I said, and as I'm shuffling and saying that, this is the card that flipped out as I was saying that. The Fool, he's got the mind of a child. I mean, he really, truly is regressing into his mind. What's funny was You guys, did you see I was shuffling? I was like, I really didn't want to do a health reading. And then this card flips out and it's like, oh yeah, you're going to be doing a health reading whether you want to or not. So this really is that childlike outlook. And you know, he's like going to be just walking off the edge here, and there's nothing here, or there isn't anybody here that's actually holding him back. The closest would be like this little dog. And you know, if anything, with the way Maggot is and the way that he's surrounded himself with people who just don't care, that this little dog is probably egging him on, go, you know, type thing. So and interesting, let's unpack this card. Here's the wand for the IVs that he's getting. You know, think of this almost looks like, you know, the IV bag with the IVs. Oh my goodness. And yeah, the brand new beginnings. I'm just sitting here looking at this. The sun comes out on his lies. The sun is coming out on his lies. And if you look here in this rock edge here, I'm very familiar with these rock ledges whenever, you know, I go hiking in in nature here in, you know, the Ozark Mountains region is where I live. And you do not walk out on stuff like that, because that could give away at any moment. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be seeing in this card is, you know, the IVs that he's been getting. He's standing here he's on rocky ground, and he's about ready to just fall over the cliff. And if anything, you've got, you know, people egging him on and encouraging it. And I'm talking about his inner circle there. So that a lot of symbology there. So, oh, and then here's the yellow, you know, around the ankles, the fluid buildup around the ankles. Blue, I'm going to see is like poor circulation. So yeah. A lot of symbology in that card. Okay, I guess I was going to do a little mini health reading for the Donald there. Okay, but what I really want to know is I want to do a base reading into what's going on with Seth Meyers. How concerned do we need to be? About Seth Meyers. Okay, as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Seth Meyers. Messaging. I mean, the Page of Wands is literally my messenger card. I have seen this. It can be whistleblowers. It can be that, but right now I'm just going to go with, you know, it's my messenger card. Let's see what else comes up with that. The reason I say this is my messenger card is pages are messengers, and then the wands is a message anyway. So it's like my super message card. So fiery message. And then the King of Wands. You guys, I just am seeing these wands still as just those IVs he's getting. So I'm going to try to get past, you know, that and get into like what's going on here. So a lot of messaging here, and it's almost like he shitted that out, and then now Brendan Carr make it happen. That's kind of the way I'm going to be reading that, if I'm not going to be reading it as a health reading. We'll see. We'll keep going and see what comes up. The Strength card, options. I think that, you know, because of what has happened with Jimmy Kimmel, I don't think NBC is going to want to, you know, risk that of taking Seth Meyers off the air. So, and I am going to do a follow-up. I don't know if I said that in the intro, but I am going to do a follow-up on Colbert to see if we get Colbert back, or if he's just going to go on and like do other great things without, you know, the his late night show. Here. The foundation is one of hesitation. It's a fiery message. This is kind of like all bark, no bite. That's what I'm hearing with this. It's like a great fiery message, but there's no action with this card. And so that's what these, I mean, your center is like the message, and here you get the message, but hesitation. And notice this person is looking here in the past and looking at what happened probably there at with ABC, Hulu, and Disney, of learning from somebody else's mistakes. That, I mean, I'm just really feeling that strongly here. Knights are going to be changes, and Knight of Cups. This literally is the, you know, knight in shining armor. If this is usually changes for the positive. However, remember with the Trump administration, we always read this in the lower energy. And so think of this as the opposite of your knight in shining armor, like your worst nightmare. Someone who pretends to be something that they're not, like a pretender, pretending to be that knight in shining armor. Okay. that is going to be kind of the broader stroke meaning for this. And so with these, the way they came up is that they're facing each other. And so the foundation is this fiery message, but they're looking at the past of, look at what happened. The people loved Jimmy Kimmel, and we got Jimmy Kimmel back. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm going to reading these of, yes, they want these changes. They're talking about these changes, but they also saw how these changes did not work in the past, because Jimmy Kimmel is as beloved as, you know, who is it? Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers. So let's see what else we get going up here. And then the, what is it? The final outcome is 9 of Cups. I don't know that they're going to get what they want, because here, and I have always read this as the people controlling the orange beast, like the people prevail. And what do we prevail at? You know, something that's going to make us very happy. And that's that Seth Meyers is not going to be getting fired. Okay. Let's see if they're going to try, because this, as I said, these are not action cards here. If anything, this is the only action card here would be this. And this is one I always read as hesitation. Now, I know not everybody reads that card like that. But it's just one that, and the reason I read it like that is because, like, the horse is rearing up and, you know, being held back. They haven't acted yet. They're talking about what they want to do. Okay. And yeah, make this happen. You know, that exchange on Trash Social between Trump and Brendan Carr of wanting Seth Meyers fired. And then you get here the people, as I said, I've always read this as the people overcome, the people getting their wish, which is Seth Meyers is in fact not fired. Okay, so with that, let me see. I kind of want to look at this card here. I want some additional information on this. The hesitation. Like, the foundation is they're hesitating, but I want to know, is anything else going to come of this with Seth Meyers? Okay, and anything else, like, you know, what are they going to do? Now, the first thing I thought of, the King of Pentacles, the wealthy man, the corporation. Back, I did a reading, and of course I don't remember what the reading was, but it was, I think it had to do with Jimmy Kimmel, and it had to do like, oh, I remember now what it was. Are these companies going to be choosing, you know, like are they going to go with capitalism, or are they going to go with authoritarianism? And what I got was that they worship at the almighty dollar, and I don't know what this looks like but there's some form of like some department, and I was kind of getting like the legal and financial department working like together, and them strategizing of, okay, we can afford this much in fines for defying, you know, this administration, versus we can lose this many customers before we need to really be worried. And so like they're strategizing what we do. And so that is what I'm seeing with this card. They are strategizing on what can we do, how can we weather this storm, how can we stay financially stable. Okay, not how can we do the right thing, it's the bottom line. It's that bottom dollar. That's what they're concerned about. Well, I was going to say, isn't that special? Okay, and then the fighting that's going on of what do we do? And I'm not really seeing fighting. I'm seeing more of, you know, like, I don't know why they would be panicking, because they should see the writing on the wall of who do we piss off, the American people or this Trump administration. And it's like, if you look at the writing on the wall, this administration does not have long in this world right now. And the Wheel of Fortune, they realize that they realize what the people will do. And they truly did see what happened to ABC with that, what happened. So I think that they're like, no, we're not going to piss off the American people, because they know in my is it the Morgan Greer deck? Oh, and I'm using my Wiser Tarot today. I think it's my Morgan Greer. Oh, because this is, let me see here, where it's got the people on top and the people on bottom flying off. Let me see here. Anyway, of course I can never find the cards I want to quickly. Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. For this card here, always think of this card in the Morgan Greer. I swear, one of these days, I want to make a deck of all the decks and like my favorite cards in each deck and create like one deck. So like I would replace this one with this one. Okay. And so just think of the hand of fate turns the wheel. Here you've got the oligarchs on top, but that wheel and, the commons people, we have been flung off, but when this wheel turns, the people, this is going to be the people having the strength, being on top, while the oligarchs are going to get flung off. Okay, so they know. So I'm just going to kind of keep that right there for now. So yeah, they know that if they piss off the American people, there will be hell to pay, and that they can pay so much in fines before they have to really worry about this. So is Brendan Carr going to, actually, I don't want to get these decks mixed up too much, so I am going to pull that aside right now. So is Brendan Carr going to do something as far as it goes, as far as Seth Meyers and NBC is concerned? And I know I'm saying it, yeah, it is NBC, right? I'm pretty sure it is. If not, I'll put it in the subtitles of oopsies. Okay, Brendan Carr. He's been given a directive, and he knows he needs to act on it. A return to happier times. I think he also realizes, oh, wow. Okay. This is a really weird kind of combination of cards here, and what I'm feeling with it is that he knows he needs to do this. This is going to be a card of action. The King of Swords, someone who, it's also someone, Swords is going to be the intellect, it's going to be action, it's going to be military, but like, so taking action, but the action is, I think he realizes Donald is like, this is a return to happier times. And whenever, I got this, where was it? That page, where was that page? Oh, here, the Page of Wands. Where Trump said it, and then they're expecting somebody else to actually do it. This is a real significant thing here, because Trump is no longer coming up as the king. He's coming up as these lesser cards. Well, that's telling right there. If that, as I said, I wasn't going to do a Trump health reading, but it's just going to be, interspersed in this. And so I think Brendan Carr is seeing, Trump he's losing it, but he also knows he needs to act, and that this is part of Project 2025. So I think that he's going to play. This was always the plan to do this, and going forward with this. This is also a card of really the wheels on the bus are coming off. So yeah, I don't think Project 2025 is going to be implemented because of, this is in the lower energy. This is a Chariot that's not, this is not going well. Okay. So let's see, what is his, let me ask real quick about this Chariot. What do we need to know more about this? Like, is he successful or not? I don't think that he is. I don't think anyone's going to be taking Brendan Carr too serious with this. Hopefully NBC has learned their lesson and will fight back. Learn the lesson from watching what's happened to the others. Okay, so with the Chariot, what do we need to know about that? The Empress, okay. And this is one of creativity, abundance, giving birth to something, like, new ideas, giving birth to new ideas, and bringing something to an end, and working on something, bringing it. Yeah, I think that this is, it's like bringing it into our creativity, but it hasn't been implemented yet. This is one of mastery, and I truly don't feel like this Project 2025 is going to be implemented, whereas they have every intention of doing it. This is one of, it's not going to, like, yes, they have taken steps. Yes, they are fining people. Yes, there are things that they have done to violate the First Amendment, but they're not going to be successful in the final implementation of it. And I really think it's because, Donald here has a mental lapse, a mental lapse. Boy, that's an understatement. And that here we are, that it's not going to go forward. I really don't think that. Like, they want to, but I don't see that happening. Okay, wow, this turned into being a little bit more of a reading than I thought it was going to be. Let me ask, I do want to do 3 cards on Stephen Colbert, because I said I would do that. So let me, Stephen Colbert. We get Stephen Colbert back. So he's on CBS. The Hollow Victory, that CBS, I mean, and CBS should feel like shit, okay? They didn't stand up to, you know, this criminal administration, and then the rejoicing in the, you know, after a time of self-reflection. I think, do we get Stephen Colbert back? And I'm talking about back on CBS. Are they going to offer him his show back? I've always felt like they would. So are they going to, yeah, they are. They're going to offer him his show back. He's going to be like, I get more money. And I don't know that he would take it. I think that he has a better offer. And with Stephen Colbert, what I'm feeling is like, I do think that they're going to offer him something, that, or he accepts there's an agreement from somewhere else, and it's pages are messengers, and the Page of Pentacles, this is going to be like a message about money. A contract could be under this, and it says I'm just doing 3 cards. Yeah, I would see that as, you know, like a contract. I'm not feeling like it's not just about the money, but it's also about the loyalty. I'm kind of feeling like more about that. Like, even if they were to offer him his job back, I think that he's still going to walk away, because he's like, you didn't have my back. I got a better offer someplace else. I mean, that's kind of what, you know, just this is looking at. If this is one that I will definitely keep watching. I think that, you know, if we do hear something about this, it's gonna be down the road a little ways, like after the fall of this administration. Since I was looking at Seth Meyers, I kind of wanted to do a peek there at Stephen Colbert. So with Seth Meyers, I think I get that NBC has seen what has happened with the other, like what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, and they're like, we're not doing that, because we can't afford to lose any more customers. We'll just pay the fines. I mean, it's that kind of feeling. Brendan Carr realizes that Trump is slipping. I mean, entertainment purposes only, not diagnosing. And it's this mix between using that because they know that he's, you know, because it was still part of the plan to implement this with Project 2025, but it's almost like this feeling of maybe like biding their time a little bit. I don't know that he's going to jump right on that. There was some hesitation there. That Knight of Wands was the hesitation card. So I think that we're going to keep Seth Meyers. I don't think he's going to be let go anytime soon anyway. So I will keep watching that. And you guys keep watching these videos. I will keep making them. I really do appreciate you guys being here. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff. And I will catch you on the next reading. Have a great day.